Thanks for coming back. Welcome back to Jackson Square. We're going to practice what we just learned about addition and subtraction of decimals. So let's jump right into problem number 1. So number 1 says 12.5 plus 9.74, or 12 and 5/10 plus 9 and 74 hundredths. According to what we just learned, the first thing we need to do is line up our decimal points. So we're going to rewrite this problem and line up our decimal points. And I like to work on grid paper because it helps me with keeping all my numbers lined up. Okay, so now we have our numbers lined up. And I noticed that there's something missing that we can use a placeholder. So I'm going to add a 0 here as a placeholder in this problem. So now it looks like I'm ready to go and add as normal. 0 plus 4 is 4. 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, 11, 12, carry my 1, and that is 2. So I did step 3, I added as normal, and then the final step says to bring my decimal down. So I'm going to bring this decimal straight down, and here's my final answer. 22 and 24 hundredths, or 22.24. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is a subtraction problem. Again, step 1 says to line up our decimal point. And again, I notice I have a digit that doesn't have a partner. So I'm going to add a placeholder of a 0 there. So remembering that this is subtraction, it's going to require a little bit more work than before. First of all, I cannot subtract 3 from 0. So I have to borrow from my 7. It will become a 6. And when I'm borrowing a 10 rod. Think about your place value, how you have your units, your rods, and your flats. I'm borrowing an entire rod from the tens place. So now I'm adding that to here. That's why this becomes 10. Now I can subtract 3 from 10 and I will get 7. Then I can subtract 2 from 6. I will get 4. 1 from 8 will give me 7. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So I subtracted as normal. And now it's time for me to add or bring down my decimal point. So here's my final answer. 7 and 47 hundredths, or 7.47. So there are 2 more problems, 1 addition and 1 subtraction. I want you to pause the video, rearrange the problems, remember the steps, line up the decimals, add placeholders if you need to, add or subtract as normal, and I want you to bring down that decimal point. And make sure you're careful when you're carrying. When you're carrying and when you're borrowing from the other places. So pause the video now and practice these problems and come back and check. Welcome back. So I hope that you did a great job with adding and subtracting those problems. Let's jump in and see how you did. So number 3 is an addition problem. We need to rewrite our problem. So we're going to stack it. And my marker does not write, so I'm going to trash it. So hopefully when you were rewriting your problem, you notice that there is a digit missing on the top. and you need to add a placeholder. So I hope you added a 0 here. Once you added that 0, I hope you went ahead and just added as normal. 0 plus 4 is 4. 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry my 1. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. And last but not least, our last step is to add or bring down our decimal point. So I hope you got 56 and 24 hundredths as well. If you did, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Yes? Great. Good job. So let's get into number 4. Number 4 is a subtraction problem. Again, we're going to rewrite our problem and line up our decimal points. Wait, this one doesn't have a decimal point. 10 is a whole number. Where's the decimal in a whole number? Oh, it's behind the ones place. So I hope that you remembered it was behind the ones place. Let's take a quick second and look at place value. So in front of the decimal point, you have your ones, you have your tens, you have your hundreds, and that's going cricket. You have your thousands. And behind the decimal, we have our tenths, we have our hundredths, we have our thousandths. Those are fractional pieces. So anytime you don't see a decimal point, doesn't mean it's not there. It's just wearing its little invisibility cape and it's hiding from you, but it's there. It's right behind the ones place digit. So behind the ones place digit, there is always a decimal point. So in this problem, this is 10 point something something. We just don't see the decimal point and the something something. So little place value lesson for you. Remember this, decimal place value. Okay, the decimal point is behind the ones place. So let's jump in, rewrite our problem, and get to work. So my decimal would be here, okay? So in this problem, I hope you see how important it is to add those zeros, right? Because I can't subtract 8 from air and 2 from air. I have to put in those placeholding zeros to help me be successful. So now that I have my placeholders in, I feel more comfortable and like I can, do something, right? Subtract. Well, I can't subtract 8 from 0, and I can't borrow from this 0, and I can't borrow from that 0. So I have to go all the way over here to borrow. So this 1 becomes a 0, and then this becomes a 10, but then I'm going to borrow from that 10 for the next 0. So then this will become a 9, and then this will become a 10. So then I need to borrow from that one for the next 0. So then this will become a 9, and then this finally becomes a 10. Now I think I have enough to take care of this problem. Let's see. So 10 minus 8 will give me 2. 9 minus 2 will give me 7. 9 minus 7 will give me 2. And that's a 0. So we got through step 1. We got through step 2. We got through step 3. Step 4 says to bring down our decimal point. So there's our final answer. 2 and 72 hundredths. I hope you were able to get through it and you got the same answers. If you still have any questions or comments, please send me a message or on the Zoom Ask me so I can clear up your misconceptions or any questions or concerns you still have. I hope that this helped you with your addition and subtraction of decimal numbers. Good luck.